I regularly think about the years, almost a decade to be exact, that I spent working in hospice and my time working in palliative care and how it informs my life in many ways. And today I'm thinking about change and how when our lives become suddenly mortal, things shift. And often we're waiting for some point in our lives before we do something, before we pause work and spend more time, or once I reach this sort of milestone or save this amount of money, then I'll. And hospice and palliative care, they both paint a very vivid picture of the reality and the truth that there's nothing that we really can afford to wait on. We can't afford to postpone our lives right now for some 15-year plan, let's say. In theory, it may sound responsible and it may make sense. However, in practice, and what I mean by practice, the nature of how life is so uncertain. You're going along and all is well, and then curveball, and things are now precarious. You've gone from all being well to everything is greatly uncertain. And so when we think about that, how do we find a balance? I recently started watching a documentary, more or less, a show, Tracy Ellis Ross. It's called Solo Traveling. And she's an actor. She's the daughter of Diana Ross, the singer. And she's never been married, nor has she had children. And she talks about the freedom of that and the grief of that. And she's taken to traveling alone because she says, basically, and of course I am paraphrasing, what are we waiting for? That we can't stop living because something hasn't come along yet. That I can't stop traveling or accessing the fullness of my life because I haven't found a husband, because I do not have children. But that there are many things to be discovered in the aloneness, including loneliness and joy and happiness and grief, all of the things. And as I watched her and listened to her, I'm brought to, again, the truth of that, the truth that life is uncertain. And the truth that there's nothing we're waiting for because we do not know what will happen even in the wait. And so rather than postpone the goodness of my life, how might I still enter into it? Recognizing that, and it's just on repeat truly, that right now is all we have. I have patients say, I'm not taking it day by day, and I already know where they're going. They're taking it moment by moment. Because the nature of many things bring you to the moment. In one moment, you might feel pain-free. In the next, you might be so wrought with pain that you can't even think straight. Many people saved for retirement and got really close only to sit and talk with me about how now it's all for someone else. Everything they saved, all of their dreams, it's all now for someone else. So as we think about living in the moment, planning for the tomorrows that we hope to be a part of, I really want us to think about what it is we may be putting off. What are we postponing? And then when we sit with those things, are they deeply meaningful? Do they truly mean a lot to you? Are those very important things that you're putting off? Because if so, what if you'll never get the time to turn toward those things? How would that shape now? Would you carve out the time? What would you do? And it's something we all really have to give thought to, because no one is perfect. And everyone is likely not doing something that they feel is important because we think we have time. Some people will have time, but it doesn't mean they'll ever carve out the time to turn toward it. And other people will not have time. And at the final hour, they will try to scramble to do it all. When we live in those extremes, it's hard. So take a moment and just think about what's missing for you that you have control over. Not what's missing that you do not have control over, but what's missing that you have control over, that you're waiting to do. And see if there's room and space to do the thing. That's sort of the message today. Do the thing. Imperfectly so. Fumbling forward. With mistakes and uncertainty. You don't have to have it all figured out, but it's important to do the thing while the breath is still in you to breathe, while time is seemingly still on your side, because we won't get it back. There aren't any do-overs. And I appreciate the time in hospice and palliative care. I really do. Because they bring the real stuff to the fore. They bring meaning and purpose comes crashing through the door. What's more important? And when we allow that to really inform our lives, then we can be inspired to embark upon something great. Instead of, in 10 years and 12 years when I retire, we can start saying, you know what? Let me act as if. Let me carve out 3 hours on the weekend, and I'm going to call that retirement. And I'm going to do something that looks like I'm retired. I will write the letter. I will read the book. I will listen to the podcast episode. I will take a walk with my dog, with my partner, with my brother, my aging parents. I will. And then we arrive at the coming week and we look back and we say, and I did. I'm not postponing living now, thinking I'll be living later. But in these moments, I'm being ever so grateful that I'm doing it now. I don't want to take for granted that later will be here. If it's important to me to cultivate deep connections, what am I waiting for? Because guess what? That person or those people may not even be here to cultivate relationships and connections with. So let us be awake to life today. How might you be awake to your life today? So much so that you look at your list of things that you have planned to postpone and you begin actualizing them now, little by little, opening yourself to a fuller life now. Because change is inevitable and it will sweep through like a windstorm eventually. But now, you and I both, we still have now.